Hello, 5th and 6th graders. Welcome to Mrs. Brunil's art class, online style. I hope you guys are doing well with your work at home, and I look forward to seeing you guys again, hopefully next week. Today is Veterans Day, so we are going to do a Veterans Day project. And Veterans Day is a day that we can honor the people who are in the military now or who were in the military before, and just honor how much sacrifice they have made for us and our country, and say some extra prayers for them today. So today we are going to do an op art lesson. So op art is optical art, and it's where you give the illusion by the way you color or draw pictures with lines, the illusion, like this has the illusion that it's going in and that it's wavy. This was a Memorial Day lesson I did with my 4th graders last year. So if it's something you want to try this week, it is in my YouTube channel, and I'm sure you guys know how to do that. So I will give a link for my video and it will go to my channel, and then you could go on there and find this one if you want to try this op art. So today what we are going to be doing is a star, and then we'll have some wavy lines going through it, and with red and blue colors, whether you want to use marker, colored pencil. I think it will look nice to do marker on the outlining it and then add colored pencil or crayon on the inside. I like the way that looks. We can also do, I'm going to show you how to do it where you do marker and then just add a little water and make the colors kind of blend together like watercolor. Since I am doing that, I have a thicker piece of paper. It's not totally white, but it's the best I can. But you could use computer paper. You just got to go over it really light with the paintbrush, or you'll get a hole in your paper after all that work. So I'll try it on here first and see how you like it. If you rather just color it in, you can. So we're going to begin with a star. Now I'm just going to do a basic star the way most of you know how to do it. I'm going to do it in pencil, so I'll bring it up close so you can see. But you'll start in the middle on the top. You can decide how big you want your star to be. If you want it to fill up most of the paper, you can, or you can have more stripes in the background, so you can decide. So I would sketch very lightly your first line. So you're going to go from the middle towards the outer corner. See, it's very light, so it'll be easier to erase. Then you'll do the other side. So you have your first point on top, and I'm going to extend them a little longer. There you go. If you wanted to use a ruler, you can. Just make sure your lines are nice and light, because we're going to erase the middle lines. The next step will form this point at the bottom. So you'll go from the bottom out towards the middle of the paper. I know most of you know how to do this. Then you'll come back across the top. So now you have 1, 2, 3 points. You'll make another one here, another one down there. Connect those two very lightly, and you'll make your star. Okay, so there is my basic star. So remember, you're going to begin with this line going up, make that point there, then come across to the side, come towards the middle of the paper, across the top, and down to make that bottom point. And I know most of you know how to do it. Just make sure you do it really lightly, so that way you can erase these middle lines in the middle of the star. I'm going to outline these outside lines in Sharpie. If you don't have Sharpie, you could use a crayon or a marker if you wanted to. I'm going to outline it in black Sharpie, and I will show you how that looks. Okay, there's my star. I think it turned out pretty good. I just followed those lines and then erased all the center lines with my eraser. So now what you're gonna do is you will need a piece of cardboard or paper, not thick cardboard like an Amazon box, but this is a cereal box. And you're gonna create a wave. So you can have it up and down as much as you want, and we're gonna create some movement on the paper. So I'm just going to draw my wave out and cut it out. All right, and it doesn't have to be perfectly symmetrical. You can have higher spots here and lower here. And then you are going to cut that out, and this will be your guideline for when you're drawing your lines on your paper. So I'm gonna cut it out and I'll show you next. Okay, I drew my little wave on my cardboard box and cut it out. Now I'm going to put it on the paper, and I'm gonna line up one of the edges over here. This edge I'll line up because that one goes a little over. And you can decide how far apart you want your lines. You can do a whole bunch of lines or less. I'm gonna do mine in Sharpie. If you wanna do it in pencil and then go over it in marker or something, you can. Now you can see the top is going off the paper a little bit. If I started down too low, then I think my lines would be too thick. So it's okay to start it going off the paper a little bit. You can see there. Okay, and then you'll add some more lines. So again, line it up with the edge so that way they're the right distance apart. And I would do, I don't know, a little less than an inch. And you'll trace those lines. So what I'm going to do is continue with that pattern all the way down, and then I'll show you the next step. Okay, so I did all the lines. The more I look at it, I wish I would have made my star a little bigger. Probably would have looked a little better, but I think it still looks good. So now what you're gonna do is you're gonna fill in these lines around the star with red, white, red, white, red, white, going all the way down. And what I'm going to do is outline the inside of each red stripe with marker, and then I'll add the water to it to make it look like watercolor. So I'll test it out and see what you think, but you can color in it the red, white, however you would like. Do not color in the star yet. Okay, so when you do the red line, if you're doing the marker, you want to make it kind of thick towards the edge. And then I would do up here and right here, and that will make it, when I color that in with the water on the brush, it will fill that in a little more red and make it look like watercolors. If you have watercolors, if you want to do the marker and then add watercolor in the middle, that would be cool too. So I'll show you the red, how I outline it, and then we'll move on to the star. Okay, I did all the stripes, just the lines inside my red ones, because I'm going to add water to make them like watercolor. Be really careful when you get to the star. It's kind of hard to remember which one it is at the other end of the star, so just follow the wave. So like this one's red, and then you follow the wave, that one's red, and then that one. So just follow that wave, but don't do the inside of the star. It gets a little confusing. So the next step you're going to do is the opposite ones you colored in on the stripes. The opposite ones you are going to color in blue. So like this red stripe, you're going to leave white in the middle, and then the ones that are white, you're gonna do the blue, okay? So that will be blue, that will be blue. This one that's white will be blue. So again, I'm gonna color just the inside of the stripe, and then add that water when I'm done to make it give that cool effect of watercolor. So I will go ahead and start coloring in those blue inside the stripes inside the star, but remember the opposite of the white. So you can see this one's white, so that will be blue. The red ones, you leave white where the red line is. Okay, I'll show you in a minute. Okay, so again, if you wanted to color in the red stripe all the way red with crayon or colored pencil and not do the water on the marker, that's fine. That will work just fine too. I just thought I'd try this one out because I know my kids like this technique. Again, I think if it was a bigger star, it would have more of the blue, so it might look a little cooler. But I'm going to add the water now, and let's see how it works. So I did a little paintbrush so that way, oh yeah. That way it doesn't drip. You really don't want it to drip. And then you'll just blend that marker towards the middle. And if you had watercolor, you could just add watercolor in the middle. That would look really pretty, but I love the way this looks. And you have to be really careful you don't go over the edge or it will go into your white stripe, and you want to keep that white looking nice. All right, I'm going to finish up on a flat, oh, spilled some water, on a flat surface so I don't mess it up. But you can see how cool that looks. I love it. So I'll finish up blending the reds in the red stripes and then the blue in the blue stripes. And remember, when you're doing the marker, do a nice thick line so that way it will blend more when you use the water. So I'll show you the finished product shortly. Okay, here is my finished product. And I just added water to those markers. If you have washable markers, it should work well. Just remember, this is a little bit thicker paper. If you have really thin paper, just be really careful when you go over it with the water, or you'll get a hole in it after you did all your hard work. I added a little shading around it just to make like it's coming out of the stripes in the background. Give that optical illusion. Again, if I would have done it again, I would probably make it bigger, and I'll write that on your on the video as you're working on the star. I'll give you a wording to make it a little bigger than this. But I think it's a cool project. It's fun. Enjoy your day. Again, I hope we get to see you next week. And if you do this project and send me a picture of it in my email, or you can bring it in and show me, I'll give you a piece of candy out of my birthday bucket. So I would love for you guys to try these. These videos take me a lot of time, so I would love to see some of your artwork. My email address is sbruneel@myjax.org. So I'll see you guys soon. Have a good week.